Hi everyone. Today I'm going to service a bottom bracket for this Team Fuji that I showed you earlier. And we're going to do so without breaking the chain. So let's see if we can do that. So first we'll just take the chain off of the small ring and we'll drop them off inside. So now that's there. And now what we'll do is we will take these lock caps off, which exposes this nut here. Now this is a 14 nut, which will take a wrench to take it out. There we go. And then we'll do the same thing for the other side. Now that we have the nut off, we'll take this tool, Park Tool CP22, which will help take the crank off, which is a crank remover. So you first just hand tighten this to the crank. Make sure you don't strip. It should go on fairly easy, like so. Certainly want to do it by hand first, and then to tighten it a little bit more you can use a wrench. There you go. Now that it's in, we can twist this piece inside until it snags, and then what you're going to do is you're going to continue to twist it in, and what this is doing is pushing the crank out from the spindle inside. There you go. Certainly needed to put some elbow grease into that. And then we'll continue to take the crank out from the other side. Right, now to take this side of the cup out, we're going to use this tool, Park Tool HCW4. You can also use a large wrench that will fit this distance and take it out. And to take this one out, we will put this tool in, and it's going to go clockwise in order to remove it. And what I like to do is to use a hammer in order to help move it along. So we will jam the tool there. Oh, actually it's moving out. Certainly if it's tight, you can use a hammer to help move it along. Right, so I flipped the bike around, and now we'll work on the non-drive side. So again, we need a 14 millimeter to take this little puppy out. So the nut goes out, the washer goes out, and now we'll use the crank arm remover tool. Slot it in by hand again, and tighten that, and then we will remove that. Tighten that until the crank arm wiggles out. There we go. Now that's out, it exposes the left side of the cup, and we can begin to remove that. Now to take out the left side of the cup, we'll use a tool like this. This is a HCW5, and it'll grab into these notches here, and then twist it counterclockwise in order to remove that ring. And now, using this tool before, we have these two edges that clips onto the dimples in this cup, and it allows us to hold on to that cup and remove that. Now here on the non-drive side, to remove is to turn it counterclockwise. Wow. Look at that puppy. A lot of dust in here. And again, the bearings are fairly dry, as you can see. So we'll clean it up, we'll re-grease it, and then we'll install it back. Alright, so cleaning the bottom bracket here with a wire brush. Lots of crap down there. This bike was ridden in Colorado. So certainly lots of moisture, rain, snow, etc. that have accumulated. But now it's gonna look good. Alright, so now that the bottom bracket is clean, we will try to install everything. And we'll grease the inside of the bottom bracket, lubricate it, help it survive maybe another 20 years or so. So I'm using a lubricant from Park, PPL 1. I guess to do these things you have to really like it. Maybe like working with your hand, or you know, just like fixing things. Or you like it because you are comfortable with yourself. And when you're biking, really even if you're biking in a group, you're really biking by yourself often if you're not talking. And certainly you're not going to talk on all the time for a long distance ride. So you really got to be comfortable with yourself. I don't know. What do you do when you're biking by yourself? Are you thinking? Are you dreaming? What are you doing hour after hour on that bike, on that saddle, legs churning? Certainly have to be comfortable with yourself. And I think you know, people listen to music and such things. That's cool. You certainly have to pay attention to the road also. But just try to be present. I mean, really present with the bike, with the road. Listen to the rubber hitting the ground. You'd be surprised how therapeutic that is. So perhaps that's a personality trait for people who bike. They are comfortable with themselves. Alright, so I got this thing nicely greased up, and now we'll put them in. So this is the non-drive side, so to put it in, it's going to be clockwise. Right. And then we'll grab a tool to help us move it along. Alright, so once that's in, we can put on this little ring to tighten it up. Put some grease on the inside ring here. And with the bottom bracket, certainly you have to, what you want to do is you want to tighten one side first, and then you can adjust the other side. So what we'll do is we will tighten this side. So I'll hold this here. In order to tighten this down. All right. So I've switched the bike back to the drive side, and now we'll put in the spindle. Give it lots of grease. Through, put in this little cap, and then we will grease up this bearing. Work it in really well. Then we'll put it into the cup. Like so. I'm going to put in more grease just to be sure. Yeah, like. Right, then we'll put these bearings in. Nicely greased all over. Can't believe how dry this one was. Over 20 years. All right. Now, if you remember, the on the drive side, to take out, we did clockwise. So in order to put this back in, we're going to go counterclockwise. Alright, so let's tighten this guy. And I think I'm going to have to go on the non-drive side, loosen it up in order to adjust it. Yeah, because I think this side we definitely want to be tightened, and then we'll use the other side to adjust. My error. So this one is spinning. I can feel the bearing, so it's a little bit too tight. So we'll loosen it on the other side. Let me make sure this is tight here. Alright, she's not going anywhere. Alright, so I locked the other side, and now you can see it turns much more smoothly. So now all we do is to put the cranks back. This opportunity to clean it up a little bit on the inside. And of course, slot the chain through the bottom bracket. You can also put a little crease on the thing here. There we go. A 14-inch bolt goes in there. Use a wrench to tighten it up. Then of course work on the other side too, to balance the cranks out. Put the bolt in, hand tighten it, take your wrench, tighten it in. And then, of course, put the cap back on. Let me make sure this is tightened. Don't want that flying off. Put the cap back on. chain back on. And voila! Let's see how she goes now. Much more smoothly. Good job. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.